just about ready to get underway.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes, and let's get some wonderful excitement going on here. What are we going to see early from these runners?
Well, we're going to see the shovel in Link's house. So right away, Pikapals can go turn that in for a quick fetch quest. Jet gets a piece of heart from the sanctuary. Pikapals is going to be digging a little bit, looking for bombs here.
I mean, if you have the shovel, I don't see why you wouldn't do that. Jet, meanwhile, looks like he's making a beeline up here to Kakariko. Gonna check this northern route area or not, maybe. Jet, what are you doing?
Looks like Jet's going to go up towards the Lumberjack Cave area, but Pikapals getting the bomb pole, so digging bombs, not really necessary here. We're going to see these runners get these bombs early off.
Tier 1 getting bomb poles, I think that's pretty nice early bomb pole, and Pika gets some more bombs.
And the Hoarder's dropping some arrows, so not the best, obviously, but you always need those arrows once you find that bow. And behind the Lumberjacks, we see just a bomb capacity upgrade, so we're not going to need Aghanim for that, at least.
Bomb, 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 baran, bomb, 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 bomb. Okay, no, never mind.
Jet continuing the traditional route you see in open, not so much in Keysanity. Keysanity usually you see Houlihan more often. Sees a map but does not take it, does not necessarily want that information to start. And we see the Cane of Samaria sitting in the thieves' hideout in the forest.
Oh my goodness, early cane. It's the only weapon that our runners currently have right now, so I'm sure Jet's happy to see that. Hope for a little bit more, but getting a second tree pull for some more bombs there in the meantime.
Getting an early cane is always an interesting thing because it's never necessary super early because it really opens up only 2 spots for you, Misery Mire and Turtle Rock, and both you need a lot more items to complete as well.
Early cane, though, could be indicative of having to go to Turtle Rock eventually anyway, so sorry, Jet, I don't know if your no more Turtle Rock, please hope will come true or not.
Yeah, Pikapal's going to be trailing in Jet's footsteps here for a little bit. Meanwhile, Jet is now in Blind's basement. Going to get 5 items down here. We see, ooh, a Moon Pearl and Blue Mail. Wow, we're paying off pretty big here early.
I mean, what is this already? Getting Moon Pearl and Blue Suit? You guys think these guys need it? What?
Well, nothing else too relevant. Let's see if Pikapals, I do not think pick up the map either. If he did, I missed it.
Yeah, I don't think he did either. He's trying to get through this as quickly as possible. Jet on his way over to the well while we see Pika kind of making up time in the other direction.
Yeah, Pikapals just one little area behind Jet here. Jet diving through the well, getting 5 more items here. Haven't seen anything too good, but now we have the money for the bottle vendor now with that 50 rupees he got.
Now, it will be worth noting that Pikapals will be able to route in and go ahead and do the dig spot in the Grove because he has that shovel. Jet, because he has not yet been to Link's house, won't be able to route that in, so it'll be a slight inefficiency there for Jet. Even though Pika looks like he's a little bit behind, the routing later could make up some time.
So Jet finding some really nice stuff just now. He found the Ether Medallion in the well, and the bottle vendor delivering the flippers.
That's a lot better deal than Zora. 100 rupees for flippers?
Must have found that 80% fire sale on.
That's why you just never trust a fish with your money. I mean, really.
And the Power Glove in the back of the tavern. So Jet is now 1 item away from Dark World access. All he needs is a hammer or the other glove upgrade.
Yep, the AGA required seed is getting slimmer and slimmer at this point in time. Just 1 more item away.
Oh, I love this. On the Pikachu sprite, his cheeks turned blue when he found the blue mail. That is fantastic.
Blue electricity reminds me of Avatar.
and the stripes as well. Race game only having 20, and the library only had a heart, I think. So we are done here. And again, Jet does not have the shovel yet, so he will not be able to get the dig spot. But it looks like he's going to go check the back of Escape with that power glove.
Good efficient routing there. I think Pikapals will end up be routing that shovel spot in there, and I can see him doing something similar before too long. Nothing else really looking good at this point for these runners.
And we still have to check the entire southern part of the Light World. There's a lot of things still to check early on in this game, even without a reliable weapon. The Keysanity is nice, but we have no magic right now. Back of Escape not delivering anything right now.
All right, so here's Jet picking up his shovel. We'll see if he reroutes over to get that shovel spot or if he continues on his intended path.
Nope, he's continuing on his intended path. I'm going to go visit the uncle now and see where he goes from there. Without a reliable weapon, like I said earlier, it's going to be hard to do the escape sequence.
Yeah, his only weapon at this point in time is that cane, and without any magic, that's going to be a tough call. You can do it with bombs, although I don't know how proficient he is in bombs at the moment.
Pikapals actually did not go check the shovel spot just yet. He's saving Quentin, going right to Mini Moldorm Cave, missing out on the dam as well, but going right for the area where there's 5 item locations, and bring out the Cane of Samari to deal with these Moldorms.
That is a little bit odd, especially with the flippers. You would think he would end up routing together, starting with Hobo and maybe even going up to Zora if he's going to check it. So starting out with this first, where he's going to go almost certainly to the east even further, that is an interesting choice from Pika.
But when you get the Titansmiths in Mini Moldorm Cave, so now he has all the Dark World as well.
So Pika making us look like fools, as he is wont to do.
Meanwhile, Jet is going to take those 10 bombs and that little bit of magic for the Cane of Samaria, and he is going down into the escape sequence. He's going to check what's going on in the basement of Hyrule Castle.
Chad making an interesting point right now. That's Dark World access before our first key that we've gotten. We've not received a single key yet.
That is very true, but maybe Jet will find one here. Well, he's guaranteed to get one off the guard. Those keys aren't randomized. Pika doing what you said earlier. He's going straight to Ice Rock Cave. I think he accidentally pulled out the Cane of Samaria and one of the bombs.
All right, an Ice Rod Cave will hold for us the Fire Rod. What?
I mean, it is randomized, I guess. Wrong color, wrong element. I mean, okay.
I mean, it's nice. That's interesting, especially since we do have Dark World access. I guess that technically means we can go do Mothula with 5 hearts if we really want to.
Jet has achieved jet mode with those boots hidden deep in the castle tower.
That'll be a nice advantage there for Jet here before too long.
One other thing on the Fire Rod versus Ice Rod thing, the Fire Rod is definitely objectively better than the Ice Rod because it opens up more things and is a slightly better weapon in the first place.
Jet looks like he's trying to set up a Death Warp here, taking a couple hits.
Yeah, trying to get to that guard. Try not to grab these hearts. Now he's going to have to Death Warp with bombs because he had to kill that green guard being a little pest here. And decides not to Death Warp, just decides, you know what, too much hassle, grab this heart piece and get out of here and see what else we can do.
Meanwhile, Pikapals looks like he's getting ready to go to our first route to the Dark World, sub 10 minutes in Keysanity. He might be heading over, following the logic and breadcrumbs here with that Fire Rod, heading up to Skull Woods.
He also has the map to Skull Woods. That was the one map they've found so far, so he can check to see what it is, as well as complete the dungeon, because you don't need any outside keys to complete the dungeon. It makes routing easier if you have a key or two, but you don't need any.
We'll see Jet actually doing the dam area. Just picks up a bomb capacity upgrade in his first, but we'll see what's soggy in the lake right now, if that was a misplay by Pika there.
That's right, he needs a sword to complete Skull Woods. He can do a lot of it. And we see a vanilla small key, go figure.
Oh, and the hook shot is in the dam.
Oh, no.
That is super trolly. Chat pointing out that Pika actually likes to route around doing the dam only when you go to swamp. With that hook shot being there, I don't imagine Pika's going to go there anytime soon. That's literally the worst thing that could probably happen to Pika.
Well, Jet's about to get his Titan's Mitts. He's going to have Dark World X's as well, but he will also have the hook shot to help him out along the way.
Jet getting all the movement options. I mean, between hookshot and the boots, he's going to have no problem getting around Hyrule fast. Not as fast with the flute, of course, but that's really nice for Jet at this point.
Looks like Pika is done with Skull Woods for now. And then find anything too valuable in there. Or nothing at all, it looked like.
All right, so Pika checking out the Village of Outcasts while Jet kind of traces the other parts, getting ready to pick up his Confused Rod.
And Pika finding the big key for Turtle Rock in the C-shaped house. That's never one you want to find, because that either means it's going to be a crystal or you might have to dive it anyway.
Especially when you combine that with the early cane. Probably going to end up having to go there regardless. And Pika does pick up his first bottle of B-Torp.
The problem is no mirror yet, so you can't easily route that in. Pika's going to dive into the early part of Thieves Town here. He can only get these 4 chests right now unless he finds the vanilla big key in here.
Either way, it's 4 chests that you can get relatively quickly. He can't dash around, of course, but 4 quick chests, not a bad decision here.
While checking the boots locked areas here by the sanctuary, found 50 rupees in King's Tomb, and we find 20 rupees in the Bonk Rocks, so nothing relevant there.
Interesting to note, we really haven't found a ton of rupees up to this point in time. Normally, especially when you have flippers, you know, that unlocks the Zora area, but not enough money really to take advantage of that.
You can find the small key to the Hera, that's the Hera basement access, and we see Jet gonna do a small secrets break here. Gonna climb up Death Mountain without the lamp.
Without lamp and without the sword sparkles to really help guide you along, that can be really difficult getting through here. So kudos to Jet. He's certainly a strong enough player to be able to do that. And with the hookshot, he'll be able to get all of Eastside Death Mountain at the same time.
Pikapals does not find anything relevant other than Hera small key over in Thieves Town, so I'm gonna leave Death Warp, check the rest of the area. Jet gets his first bottle from a different place, the Old Man.
You know what? I've seen worse rewards from the Old Man for helping him up the mountain.
Pika looks like he's heading over towards the game, and Jet sees a big key inside Spectacle Rock, so he's gonna go grab that. I'm assuming right now.
Oh, it absolutely makes sense. You definitely want to get that out of the way when you can. Never want to leave this big key lying around.
And is the big key for Tower of Hera, so
that's convenient.
Yeah, I mean, we can't we don't have access to Hera just yet. We don't have the mirror or the hammer, but we now know where both the big key and small key is. So we now can full clear Hera once we get either the mirror or the hammer.
Now, we don't have the map yet to Hera, so we don't know if it's going to be required or not, which is the interesting part. Pikapals, meanwhile, is setting up the Jeremiah World Tour, taking the frog kind of around the world of Hyrule at this point in time. Going to check Stumpy, going to be able to check Hype Cave at the same time. No hammer, but he does have the flippers, so in kind of a roundabout way, he'll eventually be able to get to the locations such as Pyramid and the Catfish if he will want to.
Would you call this the Joy to the World Tour?
Oh, boo. I mean, yes, because that's where the name comes from, but boo.
We're going to see a lot of chests open up here as Jet is here in the Paradox Cave, finding just a bottle so far, and Pika in Hype Cave, seeing nothing much there yet. Quick, open up all these chests and see what we get. We have a small key to Ganis Tower, we have the map for Eastern, we have a small key to Pod, we have the big key to Pod. So there you go.
I mean, keys are nice. Not thrilling, but nice.
Now Pika's going to get some information here from, not yet. He's not going to talk to the bomb guy just yet to see what the red crystals will be.
Shout out to our tracker, by the way, who just had to track Paradox Cave and Hype Cave at the same time. B-Link, she's doing all the work for us. Thank you, B. That had to be a little bit stressful.
It looks like Pika's going to go up this way and round in the Pyramid and round in Catfish before going back to saving Quinn and go back to the Light World to turn in the Frog. Well, Spiral Cave for us has another big key. That one's for Meyer.
I think we've picked up more big keys than small keys at this point in time.
I think you're right. The only small keys we found so far have been for Pod, which there are a ton of them, and Skull Woods, which was the vanilla one. There's a small key on the Pyramid at least.
Hey,
yeah.
Iceman, thanks so much for the sub there.
Those are the small key to Hera, and this is another small key to Pod. So we now have 2 Pod keys here.
2 pod keys, but for different runners, and no bow, no hammer. I can imagine these runners are going to avoid Pod if they can.
Jet now doing Super Bunny Cave. This sequence break really hasn't paid off too much yet. There hasn't been anything huge. I mean, there's been a few keys, obviously, but nothing too great. Oh, there's a lamp, so that means that...
that's important.
That means the flute is somewhere early.
Yeah, flute's going to be technically our Death Mountain access, so we're going to have to find not only the flute, not only on Death Mountain, but you know, away from any dark rooms. So that's actually pretty significant. I wonder where we're going to find it here. Pika might be closing in on it. I have a gut feeling.
Meanwhile, we see that the entrance for Turtle Rock is Ether, which our runners have already. Catfish giving you money that you can take to Zora, so Zora can take it back from you. Is this a fish pyramid scheme?
Well, I mean, since you routed Pyramid in with it, I would definitely call this a fish pyramid scheme.
Yeah, other than a lamp, that sequence break did not pay off. So Jet now knows that the flute was necessary to get anything that was on Death Mountain.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting logic at this point in time, and probably the best thing that we learned from that sequence break. But you're right, we really didn't find a whole lot of anything, as we see Pika and Jet giving each other a high five, Pika in slow motion.
Jet can be the first one to check what a Sick Kid has. We see Sick Kid having a big key to Desert Palace.
Still nothing we have access to at this point in time. Where do we go from here?
I think what I mean, I'm just not going to do the Dark World and do what Pikapals just did, more than likely. I think we might have to go check out what Sahashalo or Eastern's hiding. Maybe the Flute's over there.
That's right. We haven't even set foot in the Eastern area. That might be the next spot that we end up going to. Meanwhile, we see Pika looks like going to enter the Dark World again. Maybe take the northern route at this point in time, although no boots, no... I don't know what Pika's doing.
I think Pika's just going to follow... oh yeah, he's already been here, I think, so...
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he's already been here, so Pika, where are you going, bro?
Purple Chest. Then he can also route in checking the dam and checking Nagina's cave all at once.
Well, it'll be nice to be able to check the dam for Pika because that hookshot is really going to help him out quite a bit. And then Agina's chest would be absolutely wonderful as well.
Again, both of these runners had the shovel, but neither one of them checked it. But now it looks like Pikapals is going to go check the shovel spot now while taking this purple chest on its tour.
I mean, having the purple chest isn't necessarily a liability if you don't have the boots. You're just kind of walking around with something. You never press the A button anyway.
That is very true. We still don't have a sword yet either.
Oh, they didn't tell you that they opted to do a swordless seed this time around?
I don't think that's true, but okay.
No, it's not true at all.
Pika digging up some more rupees. And now he has 700. That's enough for both Zora and Pod entrance.
Man, that Zora entrance is looking more and more attractive. You get Zora, the ledge, and then the two waterfall spots. It just seems like that's where we want to go next before too long.
Jet gets his Turtle Rock, Big Key, and now realizes, yeah, I'll probably have to do Turtle Rock eventually with that Cane and Big Key combo. And having the Ether to already to get into it once we find a sword. Yes, we have not seen what any pendants are just yet because we've only found one map. That was we found two maps, I think, Eastern and Skull, and no one's checked the map yet.
Now, I guarantee you what's going to happen right now is Pika's going to figure out that he has this hook shot, and he's going to be thinking in his mind, Jet's already got this, I'm behind. And that's a logical conclusion to jump here, but it really hasn't led to much for Jet, though.
That is correct. And the one thing that's really putting Pika behind at this point is really the boots, because they haven't really found too many different things at this point. The purple chest turning out to be nothing as well. Jet's about to do Ding Game, which is also not much, 20 rupees.
We do have a question in chat. When is the finals as we see these two running up? The finals is scheduled to start on Thursday, March 29th. So this Thursday at 4 o'clock Eastern time is the first match between Christos Owen and Andy. We do not have a channel assigned to it as of yet, but do tune in for the finals for the first place match. Christos Owen versus Andy. It's a match everyone wants to see.
Excuse me, Agina's Cave only having a small key to Candace Tower, so nothing of relevance there.
Where do you go at this point in time? Do you go ahead and do you do Zora or do you do Eastern?
I think Pika's at the right idea. I think you're gonna. Well, I think he's gonna do. Actually, he's gonna see what's on the floating island and check Hobo now because again, you have the flippers. They're able to see. We see a small key on floating island, so that's gonna be teasing these runners for a while.
Oh, Pika, loving to tease us here.
There you see one of the newer items in the randomizer game, the 10 bomb pack in a chest.
Now, help me understand this because I'm still a little bit hazy. The 10 bomb pack was added so that in standard mode, that would be the guaranteed item gift from Uncle if bombs were the weapon you were given. Is that correct, or am I off on that?
I don't think so. I think they changed it up a little bit where you have the 10 bomb pack and you also have the possibility of opening a single bomb as well. Again, I'm not 100% sure. You have to talk to the dev team for that one. Because now, in the current mode of the Randomized Swords Standard, which we're going to be doing the spring tournament on, it'll be 15 bombs, not 10. A couple of relatively useless small keys in the waterfall fairy cave. Small key to Ganon's Tower, small key to Skullwoods.
That is a total of 3 small keys to Ganon's Tower. Those are the worst keys to find. You absolutely do not want to find Ganon Tower keys if you can avoid it.
Finding Ganon's Tower keys might lead you to believe that there might be something in Ganon's Tower basement that you might need, like, well, more than likely the Ganon's Tower big key itself. Well, Pikapals heading over to Zora. Let's see if it's going to be another scam, or will it be something to help us progress?
It's alright, we're just giving you your fish friends' money back, and yeah. We see Jet here setting up the second most popular setup for the Houlihan room, bombing himself into that drop-down area. So Jet looks like he was picking up enough money to be able to do Zora as well. He was just under the 500.
So now it looks like Pikapal's going to go up. Maybe he's off to go see Break Death Mountain. He has that hookshot now as well, so makes sense to make this logic break if you think it's going to pay off, but we know it's not going to pay off too much. You're going to find a couple of keys here or there, and you're going to find a lamp, but that's about it. So as both our runners do things the other one has done real quick, let's just give a quick shout out to these runners who have, remember, they went 5-0, was it 5 matches? Yeah, 5 matches. 5-0 in the Swiss rounds of this Keysanity tournament to make this top 8. They won their first match. Unfortunately, they could not defeat our Christos and Andy, but they are competing for the bronze medal here. You should go give these guys a follow. They are both fantastic runners.
Absolutely. These are the kinds of runners that you definitely want to follow and emulate. You can always learn some interesting tricks from these runners. So if you have not yet followed them over here on Twitch, absolutely do so. You will not regret it. Also, while we're at it, shout out, of course, to B-Links, our wonderful tracker. And then our restreamer, Feasel. Feasel doing all the work for us. My gosh, what would this community be without Feasel? And my co-commentator, Rambler, sir. I love you.
Aw. You're all right. I'm kidding. You're great. I'm kidding. You're great. You're great. Fantasia's great, guys. Follow Fantasia. Yeah. Pikapals just got his big key to Hera. Again, we do not have Hera access yet. What's going to be the one item that opens up to these guys? Will it be the sword we need for Skullwoods? Will it be the bow we need for Eastern? Will it be the hammer we need for pretty much everything else?
It absolutely feels that the Eastern area has to have our next progression. We haven't found anything in any other area, and both of these runners are avoiding that area like the plague. It feels like they're going out of their way to avoid going to Eastern at this point.
And the only other thing Pikapals hasn't checked yet, which again Jet has, that has given Jet the ability to jet around the world, is those boots. Those were in the escape sequence. The boots were in the vanilla boomerang chest.
Dark Replica in chat is pointing out, of course, and I think other people have pointed in chat. I just seen Dark Replica. Ice Palace is technically open to us. We have mitts, we have flippers, we have a fire source to get us in there. So we could go to Ice Palace, but man, going into Ice Palace without a sword sounds like I think I'd rather go to the dentist than doing that.
What is it with whenever me and you come together, the swords are hiding somewhere so ridiculous?
Shh, don't let them know. They'll never let us come together again.
We are now officially a half hour in, and still no sword, still no hammer. Our weapons are Fire Rod, Cane of Samaria, Hookshot. I mean, don't get me wrong, those are pretty solid weapons, especially a Fire Rod, but, you know, the Hookshot doesn't kill everything, it stuns a lot of things. Cane of Samaria uses a lot of magic, Fire Rod uses a lot of magic. It's the most, not the most reliable sources of damage output. I want to see these guys take the shovel and beat people over the head with it, Home Alone style.
You would think that would be an option, especially with games like Shovel Knight out there.
And Jet releasing the fairies to Death Warp. Very interesting.
Didn't he get 2 fairies, though?
He released both of them.
Wow, that's
commitment.
I mean, okay, bow down. You know what? I'm not going to second guess Jet at this point in time.
I mean, it does save time if he wants to go check out Skullwoods here. Looks like he might be going towards the back of Skullwoods to check. You only get one chest you can really check back there, though.
I mean, he's taking a gamble at this point in time. There are other locations to check. I'm not quite sure why he would do something else. Hey, Banjo Goose, thanks for the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you so much for supporting Speed Gaming.
I'm trying to think, the Pikapals open this chest yet? Because this is a chest I like to put off as well myself. Pika might have skipped this. This has something good. Never mind.
It has absolutely garbage.
So now I think he's going to go open up the back of it. You can check one chest in here before you get derailed by curtains blocking your way.
Man, wouldn't that be trolly if your one item progression is this one little location over here in Skullwoods? I mean, that would be a breadcrumb that would just be trolly as all get out.
What if it's the sword? Then we get to kill Mothra.
You know, I don't know if Jet would be that thrilled about killing Mothula. Nope, it's just a key.
Small key to pod. That's number 1 for him, or is that number 2 for him?
I think that's number 2 for him and number 3 overall that we found. I thought
definitely number 3 overall. I don't think you checked Pyramid yet. That was definitely 1.
And I think they're both making the trek over to Eastern.
They're both saying, fine, we'll check Sahashala.
Like, dang it, okay. I hear you.
We get it, Gain. Go over here. Of course, Jet's gonna get there faster with those boots. So let's see. The green pendant is at Turtle Rock. Ooh.
Oh, no.
And we see what's back here. We have ourselves Bombos. That doesn't help too much. $5 and a sword. Oh no! I would say that's Turtle Rock access, but technically it's not. We still logically we need the flute.
Yep, and Jet knows that, so I'm guessing the flute's going to be over here in Eastern Palace somewhere.
Are you going to tell me we're going to find the flute in Eastern and then have to go into Turtle Rock to get progression? That's insane.
I mean, stranger things have happened? No, we can't even do Turtle Rock yet because we don't have the hammer.
Oh, that's right. Oh, gosh. So many things. But at least I got the sword now, so that alleviates their fears. I think I got Bombos Medallion, which, you know, might be needed for Meyer.
And this is very instructive here, everyone in chat, ladies, gentlemen, folks of all shapes and sizes, just to see how close these two were at. And Jet with the boots, Pikapals without. It just kind of gives you an interesting tutorial about how much of a difference boots can make in your speedrunning time. Both these runners are running about as efficiently as you can, but with boots and without boots is just night and day difference.
Yeah, other than the boots, they have all the same items at this point. I think Pikapals found a lamp up in Death Mountain, so that's the only thing that wasn't marked on his tracker. But yeah, other than that, they have everything else the same.
All right, so let's see what our item in Eastern is. I'm having a hard time thinking of any other possible item that we can get. Mushroom, oh my god.
How about a fetch quest?
Do you want to do a fetch quest? Oh, this is painful.
Now again, technically what we're doing now here is still a sequence break. We're not supposed to have the lamp yet. So I think that mushroom might be what is necessary for progressing here.
Yeah, it feels like it. And you're absolutely right. The lamp, we're supposed to have the flute before we can get the lamp, logically. So I don't think Jet's going to find anything of value at this particular chest location.
Yeah, just 20 rupees, so I think it's time to go turn in some drugs.
Now, I want you to know that penicillin is a fungus as well, or is derived from. So, I mean, it's not just bad drugs. It could be good drugs.
Thank you, Dr. Vitasia. It looks like Jet's not turning in the mushroom just yet. Looks like maybe we're going to go kill Mothula first.
That's a gutsy play. Mothula with Fighter Sword, he's betting that the Fighter Sword is actually the progression item and not the mushroom. That's an interesting play by Jet.
And Pika's now finally doing escape, so he's finally going to get those boots. Yeah, the one thing about the mushroom at this point, it's so far out of the way to turn in without the flute.
Yeah, but it's got to be, right? I mean, would the game, and I'm sorry I'm saying this because the game totally would, but would the game really make Mothula our progression at this point in time? Metroid Bunny Sprite, best sprite.
I want to know what the Pikachu Bunny Sprite is. I hope it's like Raichu or something.
It's Bidoof, actually.
Oh, Bidoof. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Get your Gen 4 action in here.
Alright, so Jet's doing his Fighter Sword Mothula fight. This is, I mean, pay attention. This is not a fun fight no matter how you do it, but with Fighter Sword, it's even particularly not fun.
Yeah, but at least we have the blue mail, and we have a lot of health at this point to help alleviate some of that difficulty. Now he's going to take that fire rod out and just start trying to get it done as fast as possible here.
All right, Pikachu, or Pikapals is going ahead and gets the Zelda chest and is done. He has his boots.
Yeah, the boots are only relevant down there, but again, and there goes Mothula for Jet. Very nice fight.
Well done, and it's just $50.
But it is a crystal.
I mean, that's our first crystal, actually, at 39 minutes in. This has not been very kind to either Jet or Pikapals.
Yes, we're still missing a lot of items, and I really can't think of anything else we have to check other than turning that mushroom in, really.
Fetched quest is our progression. My goodness.
Beacon now going to check these boots locked areas that Jet has already checked, and he's going to find just a little bit of money here and there.
So these types of seeds, where it doesn't open up quite as well as everyone would like, where there's kind of a bottleneck and progression is more linear, tends to suit the more effective NMG runners, the people who are really efficient, not necessarily in their routing, but in their execution. So with that kind of seed, who do you think this seed favors, Jet or Pika?
I think if it's going to come to that execution, I think you have to give a slight edge to Pikapals. I think he has a slightly better execution, but it's definitely very close. Jet is also a phenomenal player of execution.
And Pikapals looks like he's going to be heading up here and also going to be doing the Mothula kill. My goodness. And Jet's going to be checking the catfish and is going to be getting his 300 rupees.
Yeah, 300 rupees, I believe, was what catfish had for us to see.
We do still have the Ice Palace access, technically. So, I mean, we very well could be going towards Ice Palace with Fighter Sword and... I mean, Fighter Sword, Blue Mail, Hookshot. There are worse things to be going into Ice Palace with.
And in Ice Palace, again, we can't complete it without Hammer, and we really can't get to... I guess we could complete everything but the boss with what we have, and we can't open the big chest. We don't have the big key either. We don't have a key, but I think we can still check every chest without a key if we route very, very awkwardly.
Yeah, it's not very efficient routing to be able to do it without any keys. If you even have one key going into Ice Palace, it makes routing so much more efficient when you get through there. But absolutely, we're looking for something, anything, and Ice Palace very well could be it.
Another place that's actually open to these runners that we can get a few chests out of logically, but not a ton, is Palace of Darkness. We do have 3 small keys for Pod at this point, and Jet might decide to make the play in there. Looks like he might. Yeah, it looks like it. If you were to give me a choice between diving Palace of Darkness and diving Ice Palace, I'm choosing Palace of Darkness every time.
I mean, absolutely, me too. But I might also check the mushroom first because I'm just that paranoid.
And there's not really a good time to check the mushroom spot.
All right, so Kiki the monkey, that thieving little monkey, stealing our money.
I wouldn't say it's stealing. We're paying him for goods in our service. I mean, nowadays, can't you, like, PayPal him in advance and have it open beforehand? I mean, that might make more sense, right?
I was going to say, yeah, I mean, he doesn't really need an escort. He's certainly agile enough to get around on his own.
Oh, hi, Vanilla Map.
Ooh, Vanilla Map. Vanilla Map, no mirror going through Pod. Man, this is just a painful Pod experience.
And because we don't have the bow yet, we're going to spend one of these keys here. So now we're going to need to find at least 5 keys. Logically, we'll need all 6. Just a heart container. That's one. Now, a lot of these chests are logically behind 5 keys, but we can still get to them. That one chest that Jet opened is one of the ones that are actually logically only behind 1 key.
And there is, I mean, he opened his first chest, that chest, and then there is one more over here that's only logically behind 1 key, correct? This one he's about to get?
This one's about to get behind 1, and then the one in the turtle room is technically behind 2. All the rest, I believe, logically, you'll need 5. But you can still get it now if you know how to do this bond. Pikapals, look at this. There's the Ice Palace play. We have our divergence between 2 Dark World dungeons here.
I mean, these two haven't been on the same route since 5 minutes into the game, so there's our flute! Dark World's, or Death Mountain is back in logic. That's nice. I'm sure Jet's happy to see that. Also, how trolly is that? So this seed actually intended you to go into pod just before the Dark Room, get the flute, back out, do a full climb up to Death Mountain, into, it was Dark Death Mountain, actually, for the layup.
That was a big key. I didn't see what it was for. Because of a little bit of a stream issues on Pikapals side. I saw it was a big key. That's all I saw. We're going to see the old hammer yump here from Jet. We do have the pod big key, so we can open this chest. It's done. We find ourselves a small key to Turtle Rock.
Uh-oh.
It is the green pendant, so if you find all 4 of them, you gotta start worrying. Up, there's another big key. There's one for Eastern, so now we can open up 1 more chest in Eastern. Still can't complete it though without the bow. And another small key. Ooh, the swamp small key.
That's kind of important. We still don't have the mirror, so we can't open it up, but otherwise that place will be clearable as soon as we get that.
So technically, the swamp small key was behind 5 pod keys.
I mean, what is this, vanilla?
Oh, and I missed Jet getting half magic, I guess. That half magic was in one of the chests in pod that I missed. I think it was in the Harmless Hellway. Anyway, we got Jet activating his flute. Pikapals continuing to dive into Ice Palace. Again, he can, with the hook shot, he can get all these chests. Just going to take him an interesting route to get them all.
It's going to take a long way around, unfortunately.
I don't think he... Oh, he must have found the vanilla Ice Palace key in Ice Palace.
Oh, that's interesting.
And it's Bombos for Myers, so we have everything we need medallion-wise.
And I mean, technically, we have the cane. So, do you dip Meyer now?
Oh, the hammers and ice!
What? What is this?
The dream of hammer and ice. And we see a quick map check here. Pod is a crystal. Meyer is a special crystal. It's vanilla 6. And Swamp is a crystal as well. But Pika finding the hammer and ice, he can now complete ice while he's here.
I mean, might as well. Granted, Cold Stare Fighter Sword sounds like a blast, I tell you.
Hey, you have the hammer now, so.
You might as well. And hey, shout out to Ghostly85. Thank you for the sub. That's 4 months. You're awesome.
So Jet making the Meyer play. Now, Meyer, we can full clear. But again, you really want to do Vitreous with the Fighter Sword. And he doesn't have the hammer either.
Oh, Fighter Sword Vitreous. He doesn't have a ton of bombs either, so no bomb strats. No invincibility items. I mean, ew. This would be the nastiest Vitreous fight ever.
So Pika's going to take on Cold Stare here. He's going to use Bombos to unfreeze him. And then he's going to rely on hammer strats, I think, to kill him. This is going to be a fun fight to watch.
I think you and I have different definitions of fun.
I mean, fun for us to watch. I mean, if I was doing it, I would probably, like, kill myself.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Hey, and Jigo Koru, thank you. That's 5 months subscriptions. You're an awesome individual as well.
Yeah, let's throw in the fact we only have 4 hearts left, too. Why not?
I mean, can you imagine both of these runners had to do something that neither of them really wanted to do. Nice triple hit by Pika. Pikapals dipping Ice Palace without much to show for it, without hammer, but finds the hammer. Jet. Oh man, Pika's got to be real careful here. I think he's got some fairies though.
Yeah, Pika did not release his 2 fairies that he found. Jet released them to do a death warp. I don't think Pika did, so Pika does have fairies to use.
No, and while Pika went into Ice Palace, Jet went into Pod without either the bow or the hammer, which, again, not something that you want to do as a speedrunner, but it led to the flute. So logically, he opened up a few things for him. Death Mountain was logically now open, but also that led to Meyer.
And Pika gets it done with the hammer strats, using him only 1 fairy. Very nice. And we find a Master Sword upgrade and a crystal. So that was just about as perfect as a Ice Palace could go. You find a hammer, you find a sword upgrade, you get a crystal.
Yep, absolutely solid there. Now, you've got to wonder if Pika's going to realize the logic that he needs to go into Pod, or does he go elsewhere?
I think he's going to go... He hasn't done the right side chest yet, so he's going to check the right side chest here.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because if you had a key, you could check it easily, but without the key, you have to pretty much make this long trip in. Jet finding the blue cane, not too great.
I mean, that's our first invincibility item, so that does open up things like Spike Cave logically once he ends up getting the hammer, and literacy! That's nice!
Yep, that'll let us check what's on the tablets and give us Desert Palace access. Double dipping Ice Palace, not usually recommended, but in Keysanity, things like this happen. We have no small keys, we can't route it efficiently, this is the best way we can do it. Find the magic boomerang here in Misery Mire as well. I think the last item is on Vitreous. Will Jet go down? And looks like he is. And if you thought Fighter Sword, Hammer, Cold Stare was bad, wait until you see Fighter Sword, Hammer, Bombs, Vitreous. So it looks like from chat that the other red crystal was in fact Skullwood. So once Jet completes Mire, he'll have access to the Pyramid Fairy with the big bomb. Now let's see what these last 2 chests here in Ice Palace have for Pikapals. He came all the way here just to see what's in here. Unfortunately, finding a compass is not what he's looking for. He has 1 more chest to check. Then he'll probably save and quit out. And survey says another compass. So Pika not finding what he was looking for in the second half of Ice Palace, but with what he found in the first half, he is very content. He is now going to go probably... I'm not even going to assume at this point. There's so many things you can do. Alright, here goes Jet. He has 3 hearts. He's got the bombs out. We're going to bomb Viddy to death to start off, it looks like.
13 bombs. I don't know if that's going to be enough, though. I mean...
That's probably not going to kill the little eyes, so he'll have to start those... Oh, he's down to 1 heart, too. Oh, this is not going to... Oh, this is going to be tough. Even for someone as good as Jet, it's going to be a little tough.
We do see Pikapals finally turning in this mushroom, though.
Yeah, at this point, it's less likely to be anything, though, because of what we found in Ice. And, yeah. Peanut Burner, that's not going to do anything against the eyeballs. Oh, did you see what Pikapals just did?
Yeah, he did the hard reset after turning in the mushroom. Now, this is kind of an interesting thing that you do, that you can do. If you do the hard reset after turning in the mushroom, you get the mushroom back, which will allow you to do the fake powder glitch, actually.
And if you watch the tiebreaker race, you know how powerful the fake powder glitch. And you see Zelga this in the chat. Ask him how good it is. Well,
man, this is a painful fight here for Jet. Man, you got to imagine Pika, if he heads over this way, is going to have just so much of an easier fight, if anything, just because he has Master Sword.
Yeah, the hammer is really the big thing, because hammer does tempered sword damage, even though the hitbox isn't great. Having the hammer and the Master Sword makes fights like this a lot easier, and Pika's now heading over to Pod. He can now... He can't complete it. Still no... Oh, Jet, no. That's a painful death, because now he'll probably... Yeah, he's going to save Quinn and come back later. Pika's now head over to Pod. He's going to... He'll find his flute in here. But even with the hammer, doesn't really open too much else, unless he knows the hover strats to get over to the right side, which I think Pika does hover sometimes, but not all the time.
I can't imagine he's going to make that a priority, though, so... Chat pointing out, yeah, Jet, wouldn't it have been great if you had something like a fairy at this point in time?
Hey, rude.
I mean, yeah. So where is our next progression then? Do you think it's on Vitreous, or do you think we have to go somewhere else for it?
Well, we got the book, so now we can... Oh, there's the silvers just hanging on Desert Ledge, casually. But yeah, Desert seems like a good play. We have the big key. I think the small key was somewhere. I think we have it too. No, we don't have the small key yet. But we have the big key, so we can actually kill the boss here. We see that Tower of Hera is a pendant, and Eastern is a crystal. So now all we need to know is whether Thieves Town or Desert is the other pendant. And judging by the big keys that we've had early in the game, I'm going to guess that Thieves Town's going to be a pendant at this point. Don't hold me to that.
Oh, I'm holding you to it. That's the problem.
I know. I think Jet's going to go complete Desert while he's here. He'll grab his silvers as well. And if he needs to come back for those 2 items on the right side, well, he can always come back once he finds that small key.
All right, so Pika getting ready to pick up his flute as well. At least that'll put him in logic with everything else.
Jet's about to get his silvers, and now he's going to go off to kill Moldor. No, which one? Land Molas. Something like that.
You'll get there eventually. I believe you.
I'm new at this. No. So yeah, that early lead that Jet had was getting those boots early kind of evaporated with the failing Vitreous fight and Pika making the dive into Ice Palace here.
Yeah, that was just a rough fight. I have a hard time really blaming him, because if he could do it, and that was indeed the logic, I mean, that would be an amazing play for Jet, but push comes to shove, that ends up wasting 2-3. He was in there a long time.
Again, the only real thing of what we find in Meyer, just the book.
Yeah, I think, the book was really the only thing of much value there.
Jet using that fire rod to take out land moles pretty easily, and gets another sword upgrade. Okay, so sword upgrades are on all the bosses. That'll make, when Jet goes to Cold Stare, that'll make the Cold Stare fight easier for Jet.
Yeah, I think it'll be a much bigger upgrade for Pikapals, because at least when Pikapals was fighting Fighter Sword Cold Stare, he had the hammer, so he was able to deal out a whole lot more damage than when Jet was at Vitreous.
Yes. Plus, if Pika does, well, because the book was in Meyer, it's kind of hard for you to route that in without double dipping Meyer. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what goes on. If Pika Pal's going to look, things are going to head to Meyer now. That's what it looks like.
So does Vitreous have our next progression item? Is that the next breadcrumb in the seed, or where else are we going?
If Vitreous has it, that's going to set Jet so far back. But we know Jet should go to Ice Pals at this point. I think Jet's going to take that blue potion he got, take that Message Sword, and try to get some revenge on Vitreous.
All right, so we know Tower of Hera and Turtle Rock are two of our pendants. The third one could be either... No, it has to be Thieves at this point, doesn't it? I'm just trying to do a quick check to see what exactly is possible still here on the pedestal. Because, of course, chat, you guys loving the heck out of anything that control our runners, and I don't blame you, per se.
There is two pretty important things that could be on the pedestal at this point. The bow and the Ganasara Big Key.
Yeah, Turtle Rock really eliminates quite a bit, but Bow, I think Bow would probably take the cake. Also, Mirror is also a possibility.
Mirror is a possibility, yes. Now we know where the hammer is, and we can complete Hera. And we do know Thieves Town is the last pendant, but again, we really shouldn't take pedestal until we find the Thieves Town Big Key. If we find the Thieves Town Big Key anywhere, then we start to worry.
Oh, Rambler, we started worrying as soon as the seed started.
Well, you might have.
I broke my curse. Anything's possible.
That's true.
All right, Jet is starting phase 2 Cold Stare. He's going to try closer to NMG strats here. Taking damage from the slime, which only does 1 heart of damage each time. Trying to avoid taking damage from those eyeballs, which do quite a bit more damage. Using the invincibility frames from the sludge to be able to go in and do a spin slash.
This is the low percent strat. When you play the low percent version of NMG, that you don't get Tempered Sword. So this is what you see the low percent runners do with Kill Vitreous. Now he has to be careful here. I don't forgot exactly how much damage the eye does with Blue Mail, but he does have a potion, and if you want, looks like he's got a pretty good lock on him though.
Yeah, he's doing pretty solid. Just beating the heck out of him. Got him in that corner. That's a nice, solid Rocky strat.
Yeah, very nice kill by Jet. Very impressive. And gets rewarded with a big key for Ganon's Tower. So, okay, there goes one of the things that can be on the pedestal.
I mean, that's an important item, and the fact that it's a crystal, I mean, we'd pick it up anyway.
Yeah, that's not going to be like... So we know for sure that the Ganon's Tower big key will not be trolling either of these runners. Alright, so now we know Meyer wasn't exactly the progression what we were looking for. Let's see what Jet decides to do next. It looks like it's finally going to be the Ice Palace play. So Roadrunner's going to be back to even.
Yeah, but that death that Jet took on is still going to really play havoc on him later in the seed. Pikapals, if he does for a death to Vitreous, will really have kind of a solid advantage at this point in time on him. If Pika doesn't die, of course, which he could at this point.
He still has one fairy left. So now we're going to see for sure that on this side, Jet's going to get this big key for ice that was right here.
The big key for this dungeon. Now that was an addition to version 29 Keysanity as opposed to version 28. It used to be at the beginning of this tournament, if you had the dungeon item for the dungeon in, for example, the big key in Ice Palace, it wouldn't give you a text box at all. To help correct that, to make sure that things went a little bit more smoothly, they would give you a text box now for every version of the seed, and it would just say, for this dungeon.
Yeah, what's interesting is that when you find the maps and compasses, it'll still tell you the dungeon it's for, even if it's a vanilla dungeon, but it doesn't do that for the keys. Very interesting.
When in doubt, I blame Willard.
Willard's not a dev, though.
Does that stop us from blaming him?
I mean, no.
Just kidding. Nothing but love, Willard.
Alright, so once again, both the runners doing things the other one's done. Always the most fun part of any seed.
Still pretty linear, all things told. We're still, I mean, what's our next progression that we could possibly get once we have, let me see, we have Flute Hammer, Guinness Tower Big Key. What are we really waiting on?
I think we gotta dive Turtle Rock.
Oh, that's filthy.
Again, it is Green Pen, and we don't have Ice Rod. There's a lot of things that says no, but there's also, you know, we got the early King of Samaria.
Oh,
we got everything we need to enter now.
We just saw the Fake Powder glitch, not in its traditional use. Fake Powder, he emptied out his magic, used them, the cane and mushroom to get an anti-fairy to refill his health just before the Vitreous fight.
I like it. He's just hammering away on these eyes. He doesn't care. He knows he has a fairy left, so he's just going to hammer away. Speaking of hammering away, Jet finds it. So Pika used the fairy while he's hammering away on these last couple eyeballs, and now he's on to the last phase of Vitreous here. Meanwhile, Jet realizing, oh yeah, I have to make the fun roundabout track throughout Ice Palace now without any keys.
And we see kind of a similar strategy, but instead of using the sword, Pika's using the hammer, which, remember, hammer does tempered sword damage. It's quite a bit more than Master Sword. So he's making a much faster job of Vitreous than Jet did. Very well fought, Pika.
And on Jet's side, we see, instead of, you know, going down to kill Cold Stare and then coming back, he's going to Death Warp back to the beginning of the dungeon now and then do the right side.
You know what? I think that way might be slightly faster if I stop and think about it.
It's I'm not sure, so I'm not going to answer that. Let's see if Pika's going to make that play over towards Turtle Rock or Tower of Hera. It looks like he is.
I think I would, if I were Pika, I would go ahead and do Tower of Hera probably first, just because it's a little bit faster, but then go ahead and dive T-Rock. T-Rock does have a ton of treasure chests, though.
So with Turtle Rock, we could access... We only have 2 small keys right now. So we really can't get too deep into it. We can't get to Laser Bridge, for example. And Tower of Hera we can complete, even though it is a boring pendant. But yeah, Pikapals. Also, we can also check what's on the ether tab at this point as well.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about the greatest fetch quest of all in that tower, in that book. Certainly, several item locations are unlocked from it.
Well, I think actually Jet didn't do the bomb jump the first time around. That's another reason why he decided to warp back to the beginning of the dungeon. Because he wasn't planning on killing Cold Stare until he found a hammer.
Uh-oh, and here we see Pika going to go ahead and do the Tower of Hera basement. I don't think Jet did this. Has he?
Jet has never been to Hera yet, so no.
This could be interesting.
Oh, I see what Jet did now. That's really good. So he stole the key that you would need to go to kill Cold Stare, and is going to use that to get to the right side of the Ice Palace. So this is very, very interesting routing. I like it. It's not going to pay off for him because there's only 2 compasses over here, but I like it.
Compasses are the best. What are you talking about? I think they're absolutely vital.
We got to know where the boss is, right? Oh, and also in Keysanity, you see the numbers up there show Pikapals how many items he's found so far in Hera. He's about to find number 2. And it's Tempered Sword, so we know for a fact that Pikapals will get Butter Sword this seed.
Absolutely. So 4 swords, we know where they are. Still no bow, though. So.
Of course, Pika doesn't know that he's going to find his 4th sword hanging out on Land Molas, but we do.
Commentator's privilege. All right, so we'll see Jet on his way. Looks like he's going to get ready for his Cold Stare fight. He's got half magic as well. Half magic plus Fire Rod. This is going to be a considerably easier fight for Jet as well. So they kind of switched spots there. Each had an easier fight and one had a hard fight.
So far, nothing too good here in Hera. Have only one more item to go, and that's on our old buddy Troll Dorm. Well, Jet going to take this Fire Rod out, go to town on Cold Stare. Master Sword Fire Rod a lot easier than what Pikapals had to do to kill Cold Stare. And having a half magic means a lot more damage. Also, he still has a blue potion, I think. I don't think he used it in the Vitreous fight. But I don't think it's going to matter. I think he's got this.
Yeah, got him knocked against the wall, rope-a-dope with Cold Stare, and gets his Tempered Sword. I'm doing a lot of boxing jokes tonight, aren't I?
Yeah. Pika with easy work on Troll Dorm. Getting a heart container, so... Oh, that's a tank heart, too. So, Tower of Hera, other than that sword, not paying off. Sword is nice, obviously, but, I mean, Jet's not going to need it. But he will find it if he checks it, but we don't know if he will or not. We don't know.
No, it's a worthwhile check, though. I think if you're in this particular position, you come up here, you're getting ready to have to dive Turtle Rock with only 2 keys, but you have Hera over there with its chests, you go ahead and knock it out, because the likelihood, I mean, if something could come and bite you later, you don't want to face that.
So in a nice little turnaround here, the lead that Jet had early with the boots went away with the Vitreous death, but now it looks like we're pretty much close to even here. Both of our runners have similar dungeon checks here.
Similar dungeon checks. We'll see where Jet ends up going. We'll see if he goes over to Tower of Hera or if he's going right to Turtle Rock.
Ooh, I think he just wanted to check what was on the floating island, which I believe was a map. He's not going to go get that.
He knew that we were hoping for that, and he just like, jinx!
I believe both runners now have all the information they need for all the dungeons at this point. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to venture to guess that they probably do. We do. Again, we only have 2 small keys here, so we can't really check too many chests unless we start finding another small key in here. What do you say we find another small key in Turtle Rock here, and we have to gamble on some rooms here?
You know, I don't know if it's necessarily a gamble at this point in time. I mean, Laser Bridge is super densely packed, so I would go ahead and do it if you can. Again, this linear seed, though, it's really, I mean, it's diverged a little bit, but it's always met up kind of at the same place, exactly where these two are. So it's hard to say who. I mean, Pika appears to have a bit of an advantage here, but who's to say? I mean, it's just finding the next breadcrumb.
Yeah, again, the only difference is that like Jet's doing this now, and he did not do the basement, so he's not going to get his butter sword just yet. But Jet did do desert, and that is a crystal, so he's actually one crystal ahead. I find red mail here for Pikapals here in Turtle Rock, but
Pikapals is now Raichu Pals.
no, he's still Pikachu. He's just more red than normal. He now has like the right color palettes.
That's come on, that's Raichu, man.
Maybe, but I mean the tail's the same. He is a little more orange. I will give you that.
Oh, Jet's saying he's shiny Pikachu.
Oh, shiny Pikachu. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, I'll concede that point. Okay.
Oh, that was over for a vanilla small key, but that was another pod key.
All right, Jet finishing off his Moldorm fight. Very nice. We'll see if he ends up going to the basement to get his. He will get his butter sword.
Yep. Again, it's not going to be a massive advantage between Tempered Sword, and we know Pika's going to get his butter eventually also, but it's going to be nice to have for future reference. Alright, let's see if Pika's going to steal this key. I would assume he might. Yeah, he's going to steal the key. And there you see the Bidoof sprite you were talking about earlier.
You know what? I'm just constantly impressed by the sprite development team. And I say this probably every seed and every commentary I do, but the work that these guys do is just absolutely spectacular.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Alright, we're going to get ourselves a little Mimic Cave check here. We're also going to check the big chest. And then there's one more chest we can check after that without needing another Turtle Rock small key. Oh yeah, with the mirrors, we can't check Mimic Cave Derb.
Oh man, this is getting tight, Pika. Is this the play?
Actually, okay, we can go to Laser Bridge, but we can't. If we find the ice rod here, we still can't kill land moles without another key.
That's right. Yeah.
And there's still that mystery of the center chest, which we know. Ooh, we got a big key. That's the oh no.
Thieves.
No, the pedestal dream.
Man. Ladies and gentlemen, the pedestal hype index just went from 4 to like 8.
I wouldn't say 8, but it's pretty high. It's a lot higher now than it was a couple minutes ago.
4 to 6.
I'll give you a 5. I think it went from 2 to 5. I'll give you that. This is a scale of 1 to 10, right?
Yes, 1 to 10.
Okay. It definitely went up when we find that the Thieves Town big key.
Oh, absolutely. And Jet looks like he's following in Pika's footsteps.
Alright, Laser Bridge. We see just a piece of heart. We see just money. We see just a piece of heart. And we see just an arrow capacity upgrade. So we still need 2 more Turtle Rock keys and the ice rod.
Oh my goodness. So, Thieves Town, is that it? Or
I mean, I think you gotta go to Thieves Town at this point.
Chat's calling it Lamer Bridge, not Laser Bridge.
Oh, come
Boo,
on, chat.
We can do better than that. Come on.
All right, Pika's now heading over to Desert, so he's going to get caught up to Jet right here, and we'll see just how much of a lead Pikapals has. I think he has a slight limit. Again, not too big.
No, in fact, I think they're neck and neck at this point in time. Yeah, we're starting to run out of possibilities at this point in time. I mean, we have Thieves Town now, which is completely unlocked to us, but doing a quick inventory, Eastern Palace we've already cleared out for everything except for the bow. Pod we've cleared out for everything logical. We can't do Swamp Palace without the mirror. Thieves Town is now unlocked. We've beaten everything else. We've cleared out Turtle Rock. Logically, we're running out of stuff here.
Yeah, the mirror is going to be what opens up the most things, I think.
So
and also the no one checked the Eastern Palace big chest, but that's so far out of the way just for one item.
It's so far out of the way, but man, that could be the progression at this point in time.
Yeah, that's like a Turtle Rock key or the Ice Rod or the bow. Or the mirror. That would be crazy.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are a fan of the pedestal and you want the pedestal, what you're wanting to hope for that we find next is both the Ice Rod and another Turtle Rock small key. If those two happen, the pedestal hype index just kind of skyrockets at this point in time.
Jet also skipping the Manila big key chest here in Turtle Rock, so he's going to also get a little bit of Laser Bridge and be disappointed. Disappointed and upset when he finds this the big key for. Actually, do we have all the big keys now? I think we do. No, we don't have swamps.
Yeah, we don't have swamp, but yeah, it's swamp. I mean, we also don't have Skull Woods, I don't think. But like, Swamp Palace and Skull Woods big keys are kind of in the same classification unto themselves.
Yeah, it's just the fetch quest in this case. And to answer your question in chat, yes, the lava chest could have the progression, but the lava chest will never be a soft lock in this. The lava chest will always be guarded by 3 or even 4 small keys for Turtle Rock. I think it's 3. Don't hold me to that. So Pikapals takes care of land moles, and now we have everything pretty much even. I think at this point, Jet is like a minute behind. It is a very close race here.
Absolutely. So, all right, Pika, where are you going? Are you going to Thieves Town next? No, he's not. He's going somewhere else. Thanks,
I think we're gonna see the big bomb get turned in.
Oh, we do have both 5 and 6, don't we?
Yeah, Skullwood was 5 and Meyer was 6.
That's fair. You know, the Pyramid Fairy does have 2 items, and it's a relatively quick check.
Alright, Jet's done a Turtle Rock for now. We still haven't Hammer Pegs either. We still haven't done. I think one of our runners did Purple Chest. I think Pika did Purple Chest. Jet did not do it yet.
Nope, Jet looks like he's going over and he's going to be setting up the Spike Cave.
Ooh, that's another thing we haven't got to one spot.
Both of these runners are kind of checking 1 or 2 off locations at this point in time, though, so they're both running out. The logically sound areas have been taken, and it's just hope and a prayer at this point in time for both of them.
It looks like we'll see what's in the pyramid first before we see what's in Spike. Let's see, Pika we find. a small key to pod, and bow! And the mirror's in Flight Cave!
Oh!
What?
Okay, so
we are in item mode. I think we're in key. I think we're in no mode. I think.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is interesting. Jet is going to go immediately down to Swamp Palace. Looks like. Will he turn in the big bomb in the meantime? If he doesn't, he's routing away from it. And no, he's going right to Swamp Palace.
No, go mode.
So it's incredibly interesting. Each of these runners have found different progression items in different locations that are driving them in different directions entirely. It's just a matter of time. When will Jet check the Pyramid Ferry, and when will Pikapals check Spike Cave?
Wow, that shocked me. I will be honest.
I mean, I don't know if you could even script something as dramatic as that, especially with how tight these guys have been running.
And now both these runners are going to go do things that, they think are the next progression, because Jet found the mirror. Oh, let's do Swamp. Pika found the bow. Oh, let's do Pod and Easter. I mean, they're not making the wrong choices, though we know they kind of are.
Well, they're not wrong, because they're both crystals at this point in time.
I will say this, though. This is much bigger for Jet, because he could easily route Pyramid Ferry in after Swamp. It might take forever for Pikapals to check Spike Cave.
I mean, that's a distinct possibility, but at the same time, that also means that Pika will be able to go mode Swamp Palace once he finds it, theoretically, if he doesn't need any more keys anywhere else, and I don't believe he really does. Meanwhile, Jet's going to be full clearing this, and we'll have to do left side. Meanwhile, Pikapals, if he can go mode it, will save a good couple minutes being able to avoid that. So really, this is going to come down to how long it takes Pika to check Spike Cave.
So I think there's one more pod small key line around logically, but I think they both did the hammer jump, so they don't need all those pod small keys. So I think that once Pika finds the mirror and Jet finds the bow, they'll both be in go mode. Especially because Jet will find I don't know if he spent all his keys in pod or if he needs to find one more.
I mean, either way, this is absolutely exciting to see, because these two, I mean, it's not often you see a neck-and-neck race where they're not actually neck-and-neck, but that's the beauty of Randomizer.
Now, good on Jet. He is not doing left side just yet. He knows he's looking just for he's hoping it's just the bow he needs, and he is right. He just needs the bow.
He's just looking for it in the wrong spot.
Yeah, but he's not doing left side, which, I don't know, if he leaves the dungeon after this, it won't pay off. If he goes back in, it won't. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, but Jet is skipping left side for now.
I imagine he'll dip back into it. He's hoping to find the bow, and he will be able to go mode and skip the rest of left side between now and then. It's not going to work out for him, I don't believe, though. My gosh, this is a way to start off a bronze race here in Keysanity. You want to have two quality runners. You want to see people just a title fight here between two runners who are just going in opposite directions, but still so very close to one another. And I think this points out that both Tower of Hera and Turtle Rock, I think you could completely skip.
Yeah. Logically, you didn't have, incredibly, you didn't have to do any of the pendants at all. They were all just a giant debate.
So that'll be interesting, because once both of these runners realize they're in go mode, they're both going to think they're behind even more so, because they both dipped Turtle Rock, both didn't find anything there, both dipped the Tower of Hera, didn't necessarily find anything but a sword upgrade there, and they both have butter now.
Yeah, hopefully for Pika's case, he doesn't dip these down. but he might dip thieves down before doing Spike Cave. Like I said, Spike Cave is one of those things that is so far out of the way.
All right, so Jet defeats Argus, gets his crystal, and is dipping back down to get that left side. Well, Pikapals is getting through here, and he's going right to the boss to be able to clear him out. Meanwhile, Jet is on his way to this left side that's a little bit painful to get through once you've already been down here.
Yeah, and Pikapals taking care of Helmasaur here. Very clean fight. I mean, when you have the hammer and you have the butter sword, it doesn't take too much for Helmasaur to go down.
Don't even really need to use silvers. It's kind of a waste of time when you have butter at that point in time. Doesn't find what he's looking for. We know what he's looking for. So the worst thing that can happen right now, I think, for Pika is if he's dipping some of these other item locations and ends up finding, for example, Ice Rod or a Turtle Rock Small Key.
Yeah, those are things he does not want to find. I mean, he might even check Thieves Town before he checks Spike Cave. I think he will. But we're going to see. He's going to check, I guess, Harmless Hellway. He'll get his half magic. That's the last item he's going to get out of here. Just going to check his last item here, and he's going to see that, yep, nothing much in here. Mirror out, and let's hope he goes straight north towards that big bomb. And it looks like it.
This is excellent routing by Jet, and this is going to put him in go mode once he gets to this particular item. Going to be very solid. Going to be difficult for Pika to catch up unless he goes right now to Spike Cave.
The only thing I want to check on Jet's side is how many small... Okay, so I just saw on the map. He has exactly one small key left for Pod. That's all he needs to complete the dungeon and go mode. So he skipped the vanilla big key chest. That was the one thing he skipped, and that's why he's going to be able to complete Pod with only using 4 small keys. So here we're going to see Pika do the fake powder glitch. Just up. I don't know what that was all about. I think he just messed that up.
Well, he accidentally jumped over the well, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to start burning this. He's going to set up the fake powder here for what he hopes is progression. We see Jet now, once he gets this. Well, I didn't know Pod Key was in there, but now he has that bow. Jet is now in go mode. All he has to do is defeat Eastern Pod and then go up to Gannis Tower.
Yeah, Jet's going to be... He's very happy about it. He knows he's making his way over there right now.
So real quick, there's a lot of people asking chat what Pikapals just did. There's this glitch that was discovered relatively recently where if you run out of magic and then you use the Cane of Samaria and then immediately switch over to Mushroom, it gives you the powder effect. Do I know how it works? Do I know why it works? No. I just know that it works.
I think the vast majority of the randomizer community doesn't know the technicalities of the programming about how some of these things work. But they work, so we use them.
1991 video games were quite broken.
So Jet's starting off his Eastern Pod combo right here. Meanwhile, Pikapals is going to be trying things like the hammer pegs. He's checking the overworld locations. Someone asks, would Ice Rod actually be a good thing because it would point him up there and he would do Spike Cave in the interim? We don't know that. It's on the other side of Death Mountain. We hope, but we can't promise.
Oh no, not a small key for Pikapals. Don't be total. Oh, there's a 6-spot key. Okay, he doesn't need that one.
No, he doesn't. So it's a matter of where is Pika going to be going to now? Oh, this is not good for Pikapals.
Yeah, it's going to be Thieves Town. And we pray, bless RNG, that he does not find Ice Rod and Turtle Rock Small Key in here. Although he probably will check Spike Cave before he goes back to Turtle Rock, in my opinion.
He could. I've seen other runners completely ignore it. I mean, Spike Cave is one of those locations that if something is there, a lot of runners try to hold it off or skip it for as long as they can. And in races like these, we see exactly why people go out of their way to check it early, because if it has a required item, it will put you solidly in the lead.
Yeah, and you see this right away because Pyramid Fairy is a lot more commonly played checked because it's 2 items. So because Jet had the mirror from Spike Cave first, he was able to take a big lead because Pikapals is not going up to Spike Cave anytime soon.
Still, it's worth noting we are at an hour 35 into this seed. Hour 35, Keysanity Go mode. We're going to be finished by 150 or so, I would say. Still really solid.
Yeah, Jet's going to have a really nice time in this seed. He's going to be in Ganis Tower by 140 about. Oh, there's the last big key, Swamp Palace. That's another fetch quest for Pika that he's not going to want to complete. Although, actually, that doesn't hurt him too much because he needs the mirror for Go mode anyway. He can't check the Swamp House Small Key without the mirror.
Yeah, so it's like, eh.
Alright, let's hope for trash down here for Pikapals so we don't have to dive toward a rock again. We don't have the small key for the big chest, so we're not gonna find anything else too relevant, so that's good.
Anything to save him time at this point in time, but oh man, this is rough for Pikapals.
It's been one of those things where he's gonna know why he lost as soon as he finds that mirror.
And that's something that I think every runner experiences at some point or another in their careers. You know, you're going through a seed and you put something off, you put something off, you put something off, and then you finally go there and it has what you're needing and you're like, I just lost.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, it's Castle Tower. Okay, that's not that. That's some place we haven't checked yet, though.
Yeah, we haven't checked Castle Tower.
There's 2 items up there we haven't checked yet.
Oh, I'm worried Peak is going to go there because now he can check both those item locations.
Yeah, that opens up both the second chest. You need 0 keys to access the first chest, and you need 1 key to access the second. So now he has access to both chests up there. He's probably going to head there.
Pika, please.
I mean, you knew he was going to do this play once he finds that key. By the way, that armor skill was insane by Jet. Silver arrows are fun.
Silver arrows just makes everything. You blink, it's dead.
Yeah, so Jet is now on his way up to Ganis Tower. Big key in hand, so we do. Big key, Buttersword, Silver arrows. We do not need anything else. And red mail. We have everything you could possibly want.
Can someone give a summary of the seed so far? The summary of the seed is linear seeds, except for when they split. And when they split, they would find different Go mode items and then eventually come together.
The Desert Palace small key.
Oh no! I think that's the problem with Keysanity. I mean, I'm not going to call it a problem. I think it's incredibly entertaining, but when you get into this situation where you're just looking for one thing, the keys can send you in so many different individual locations, and you're just spread out everywhere.
Yeah, Jet's going to be entering Gannis Tower just about the 140 mark. Up. Look what Pikapals is doing. He might be heading over to Spike. I mean, he's still well behind, but at least he'll be able to make something out of this race.
Hey, he's heading up in the right direction.
Yes, he is.
Pikapals. All right, so Pikapals is going to be picking up his mirror right around the same time that Jet's going to be halfway through the gauntlet already.
Not halfway through the gauntlet, he'll be just getting upstairs most likely. But let's see if there's going to be any frustration slash on Pikapals' part. He's usually not one to show frustration in the game, but let's see. No,
Yep, all business.
Pika knows what's up. He's hoping that Jet missed that, and going to go try to complete this game as fast as possible. Again, he gets to go mode Swamp, which isn't going to take too long at all.
Absolutely not. In the meanwhile, Jet is starting to climb his ascent up Ganon's tower. In the meantime, while we see Jet climbing Ganon's tower and Pikapals about to start his Swamp Palace kill, as a reminder to everyone, this is the bronze match for the Keysanity tournament. However, Mr. Rambler, we have another, small little tournament about to start up, don't we?
A small tournament? Small in what sense? Starting in a little under 2 weeks on April 9th, we're going to have ourselves the standard spring tournament with the randomized swords option on. And if you wanted to play, I'm afraid it might be a little too late. We set a cap of 512 players, and we hit that cap within days. So stay tuned to Speed Gaming's 1-4 and ALTTP Randomizer 1-4 if you want to watch any of that tournament. What else is there to say? You still get on the waiting list. If people drop out, you can jump on in. It's going to take up likely all the way until the end of the summer.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be absolutely massive. I mean, for context, the Keysanity race tournament had a little over 100 people.
It had 208.
208. Okay, I'm sorry.
This is 300 more runners.
And this one was one of our small tournaments. The 512 is literally the maximum amount I believe our website will allow us to do.
Well, we use Challenge to run these websites, and originally we used the regular option, 256. You're thinking, all right, we might get a little more than 256, but whatever, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And we filled 256 in 3 hours. So the admins and everyone behind the scenes, they decided, you know what, we're going to pay for Challenge Prime. We'll have a cap at 512. We probably won't hit that. We're expecting somewhere around 350, 400 players. We'll be fine. And we hit 512 in 3 days.
I mean, it speaks, I think, to the level of commitment that not only the developers and the community organizers and everyone else in the community who works behind the scenes, all the work that they do to put together a good game, to put together a good show for everyone. It's to the point that apparently everyone loves Randomizer, and I don't blame them. Randomizer's a lot of fun. So join us on Speed Gaming starting April 9th. Speed Gaming, ALTTPR. I imagine we might take up some room in Randomania as well. I don't know at this point in time.
We might have to break the Ocho out for this. That's how big this tournament is.
I'm down with breaking out the Ocho. I'm totally down.
The boldest of strategies, only on the Ocho.
And absolutely, if anyone, if you we're taking applications for restreamers, I think is our biggest concern, but commentary and trackers and everyone else behind the scenes, we absolutely, I mean, with 512 people running, that's, over 250 races every week that we're putting on. So.
Yeah, 256 races a week. Yeah, so meanwhile, while we were talking about that, Jet just obliterated the Gauntlet and Pikapals obliterated Go Modding Swamp. Jet is now on Aga 2. Ooh, Jet getting a 0 on that one. I think he got a 1 on the first one. It's not the cleanest Aga 2 fight, so that's a 2. There's another 2, so we got a 1022, and we're gonna get a 1 on this one, more than likely. There we go.
Leoria the Light, yeah, we'll go ahead and link the Discords. Thank you, Rambler, for linking the Discords. Go ahead and check on those. We'll have all the documents there for signing up. We appreciate all the help you guys can get. Jet's on his way to the Big Pig now.
And again, when you have Butter Sword and Silvers, this is the easiest of gain of fights for all of our randomizer runners.
I don't know. Okay, so Jet is going into this Ganon fight with Butter Sword, Red Mail. I think he's got a potion or two available to Silvers. Don't know if he's going to have much of a problem here, do you?
Nah, I think he'll be fine. Remember, Jet also died to Vitreous way long ago in the scene. We thought he was done for then, but so to show you, it's never over until it's truly over. There is a small prize in this tournament. It's not obviously no cash prizes, no cash to enter, no cash to win. But if you win the standard tournament, you get your name put into the game in the Houlihan room. Right now, Adjum's in there twice. I don't know about the Keysanity winner, but I know for sure the winner of the Spring Tournament. And jet082 kills off Ganon very cleanly. He's got an easy sub 150 here. He's in the 146 range. Get your GGs in chat for jet082, winner of Game 1 of the bronze medal match for the Keysanity tournament.
GG Jet finishing with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 46 minutes, and 37 seconds. Takes Game 1 from Pikapals. We'll go into the rematch, grudge match, tomorrow evening. Looks like tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock Eastern Time will be the rematch, Jet versus Pikapals. Don't know what channel it'll be on, but we'll have Slim Kirby and Adirondack Rick on the mic for entertaining purposes. We'll see if we can't get Jet in here to talk about the seed here.
Yeah, he's heading on in now. We're getting it all set in. Meanwhile, Pikapals now heading up the Gauntlet, so it wasn't too far behind for Pikapals. He's probably going to be about 5 minutes behind. Not a huge difference here. And we have jet082 with us. GG's, Jet.
Hey, GG.
So that seed ended up being a very entertaining one to watch because early on it seemed like you guys were on completely different routes. Then about a half hour in, you both decided, you know what, let's just go to Sahashala.
Okay.
And then you guys split off again. You went to Pod without anything. He went to Ice Palace without anything. You know how that probably ended up.
Yeah.
And then at almost the exact same time, he'd found Bo, you found Mirror.
Oh, really? Okay.
It was but because Mirror was in a spot that was so far out of the way, you were able to achieve go mode well before he was, and that was the difference in the race.
Man, the hammer was a trolley location. I would say that Mirror location is a bit trolly.
Whenever there's progression in Spike Cave, I think it's trolley because it's such an out-of-the-way location that's easily forgotten.
Yeah. But, oh my gosh, so many of my most recent races, I've had to do hammerless ice just to get something. Like my last race against Christos, we had to go in there to get Quake to go into Meyer. So it was like the same thing. And I mean, I always thought I'm like, ice is a possibility, but then I kept finding a little bit of something else to like take me away from ice. But I'm like, it's gonna end up. I'm gonna have to go to ice without hammer again. And I actually did think about doing the bomb jump at first. I'm like, maybe there's a decent chance hammer will be here, but I'm like, no, just go get it done. So that was the location of hammer, which was weird. And then of course I did dip into Turtle Rock, even though I didn't want to, but the game sort of gave you a lot. Like we had 2 small keys. And the big key. So I felt like there was a reason, and technically there was a reason because of a pod small key in there, but it wasn't necessary.
Yeah, the pod small keys again wasn't a huge deal. You both dipped Turtle Rock, you both dipped Terra. So, but even though they weren't technically needed, Pika did in fact end up doing Thieves Town before finding the mirror, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. That was actually gonna be my next choice after checking Fat Fairy. So
yeah,
I was like, if Bo wasn't there, I mean, I was probably going to dip into Thieves and check some other overworld locations after that with the mirror.
Yeah, we still haven't found exactly where the Ice Rod or the other 2 small keys to Turtle Rock are. Even though they weren't really necessary.
GT.
Yeah, probably GT. Because I don't think Pika did most of the other overworld stuff. I mean, the only things we didn't really check were like Graveyard Ledge. Once we found the big key for Thieves Town in Turtle Rock, we thought for sure Pedestal was going to be on the table for.
I know.
For the bow or the mirror.
I felt like the game wanted me to do that, and I'm like, whatever. But I'm like Fat Fairy, and then Bow, I'm like, yes, let's go, let's do it.
So, Jet, I gotta ask you, what was going through your mind there? Fighter Sword Vitreous.
No, don't ask.
I have to. It's my journalistic responsibility to ask you about that Vitreous fight.
So I'm thinking about it the whole time while going through Mire. I'm like, am I really gonna try this? I had no safeties because I burned my fairies just to take a death warp. So I'm like, do I really want this? I got the blue cane, and actually I had a brain fart where I'm like, blue cane, okay, I could just pop this on, we're good to go, right? And so, get to Vitreous, and it's sloppy taking, hits all the way. And so, yeah. And then once I threw the bombs at him, I'm like, well, I'm committed. I'm just going to see through. And I disagree with what happened. I hit one of the eyeballs, and I, knocked it lower, but then it resumed moving upward, and I wasn't expecting that, which is why I died. I was not expecting it to move that way. But honestly, if I had destroyed all the small eyeballs, I think I would have to do spins on Vitreous anyway. It was just a bad idea. I should have just left. I just figured, let's try it. I don't know. It was a bad idea.
It was incredibly entertaining for us regardless. I mean,
sure. Oh, man. Yeah.
That wasn't too long after Pika was doing Fighter Sword Hammer on Gold Stair.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
He had to use bombs just to break the ice because he didn't have half magic at the time.
Yeah, you both did. You both had just incredibly horrific starting matches against Vitreous and Cold Stare. And then when you flipped over, you each had kind of a nicer fight because of Master Sword by then. And it was, oh my gosh, it was so entertaining. It was down to the wire until the very end, that mirror.
Oh, man. I mean, the Seed was a bit stingy with the swords, though, wasn't it? Although, I mean, so, yeah, you actually had to get only one sword, which is behind Sahasrahla, and then the second sword was a desert? I don't even... Did Pikapals find a desert small key? Because I don't think I found that.
I believe he did. It was in Thieves Town.
Okay. Oh, so that means so the back of Thieves, so... Getting the big key of Thieves was technically required by the logic.
So yeah, the logic wanted you to go into Turtle Rock, get the big key of Thieves, go to Thieves, get the small key for Desert.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure it was the small key for Pod that was in Turtle Rock was also needed by the logic.
Man. Yeah, so just how and of course, after leaving Mire, going into Desert, oh, here's my Master Sword, great.
Meanwhile, Pikapals finishes with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 52 minutes, 54 seconds, bringing him into chat with us. Pikapals, GG on the race.
GG.
Hey, GG.
So that was an interesting seed, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, a bit.
It's another Plando, I swear.
So, what was the one thing, Pikapals, that you think was the deciding factor in the end?
Mirror.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. Actually, Jet found a mirror at pretty much the exact same time you found bow. He didn't have the bow yet.
So yeah.
I figured there was a decent chance he would get to Spike Cave ahead of me because I never get around to Spike Cave.
I was just thinking to get it out of the way too. That was right after I did Turtle Rock, and I'm like, well, there's not much because it gives you the big key to Thieves, and I'm like, well, let me knock out Spike Cave before I do anything else. And then it got me. I'm like, well, time to do Swamp.
Yeah, I just don't like walking all the way back over there.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been burnt too many times with something progressive in Spike that I've learned to just go get it out of the way. I treat it sort of like a fetch quest, like when we get Shovel or something. Like, just go get it out of the way so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, and I usually just try to work it into another route later on. Like, if I had gone to finish Turtle Rock at any point, I would have done it then, but...
Yeah,
and the real interesting part is that I don't think there was any items in any of the pendant dungeons that was really required at any point in time. So you both ended up kind of routing at almost the identical times. Hera then dipping into T-Rock, but nothing really worthwhile there.
We did get our Tempered and Butter Sword that way, so that was nice. Not required, but it was nice.
Yeah, at least there was a sword and all that.
Yeah.
This is true. But yeah, I mean, it was interesting to see kind of, you would split off, like you would each get a different progression item, different breadcrumb. You'd split off, and then you'd switch spots and come together and do a couple locations, and then split off again. And in the end, Pika, you found the bow first. Jet, you found the mirror first, but the mirror led you right down there to Swamp, and Pyramid Fairy Bomb was right there.
Yep.
So you guys get to do this all again in about 22 hours.
Yep. The next race is tomorrow.
And we have our commentator set for that. It'll be the two of the best, Adirondack Rick and Slim Kirby.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Hopefully we actually get Hammer early on the next time. So tired of having doing Ice without Hammer.
Yeah. I felt like I got Hammer earlier than I should have, probably, because I ended up going to Ice before even trying to head into Pod.
Well, from what they were saying, I decided to go do the Mire while you went into Ice, which is probably for the best, because my Vitreous fight was nowhere near as good as I'm assuming your Cold Stare fight was.
Well, I'm glad I had two fairies, because I used them both. One on Cold Stare, one on Vitreous.
Nice.
Oh
yeah, I
Jet,
burned my fairies.
Yeah.
Jet let his fairies go when he was death warping out of Thieves Town.
Yeah, the only thing I would have let my fairies go for was I got them before I did escape, but I decided I'll just leave that sewer chest there for another time.
Oh yeah, I did the same thing. I decided to leave it at the time.
No, the two of you were just absolutely, neck and neck. It was the entire time. Like I said, the only thing that was different was just the very last go mode items that you guys had. And it's unfortunate that, it was very, very close between the two of you. You really put on a clinic in terms of what you're supposed to do in Keysanity. 146, 152, I really consider anything sub 2 hour in Keysanity to be the goal. Like this high reaching thing that the community should reach for. So kudos to both of you guys for putting on just an amazing race here today.
Thank you.
Also, one of the best parts about it being so close is that you guys took so many different routes to get there, but ended up converging a few funny spots. Like you both went towards the hospital at the same time. You both went towards Hera and Turtle Rock almost the same time. You both found the two items we needed at no mode at the same time. It was incredible to watch. Really, really well done by both of you guys.
I bet chat was hoping for that ped seed until we both found our respective items.
Well, they love the fact that the two items were done so like back to back, and there's a clip of it that because it was a very, very well warranted reaction by myself, I must say.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, thanks again for both our runners. You can give them a follow on Twitch. They're always racing randomizer races. You can also give a follow to our tracker B-Link. She did a fantastic job making sure all the items were up to date. And of course, my co-com Fatasia. Great job as always.
Oh, and thank you. And again, another shout out to New York Rambler, NY Rambler, as well. He's an amazing co-commentator and partner. Thank you so much. And again, another shout out to jet082 and Pikapals. If you want to get better at Randomizer, follow their streams and just watch what they do and do exactly what they do. You will not regret it, I promise you.
Except take on Vitreous with Fighter Sword. Don't do that.
Except that. Yeah, don't do that.
No, it's fine. Vitreous isn't that hard, right?
Yep.
All right, so this is going to be the last Zelda randomizer for us here tonight. Remember, do not forget, tomorrow, 8 o'clock, the rematch, Pikapals versus jet082. Same bat time. I hope same bat channel, but, that's still up to be debated. And then, of course, the gold medal match between Christos Owen and Andy will start on Thursday at 4 o'clock Eastern time. Make sure to tune in for that one. That's going to be a pretty hype match as well. Any last thoughts? Anyone else here?
Thank you guys for commentating, our tracker, and you, the viewers.
Aww. All right, that's going to do it for us here at Speed Gaming. My name is Vitasia.
I am NY Rambler.
And we'll see all of you guys tomorrow over here on Speed Gaming for the rematch of jet082 and Pikapals. Have a good night, everyone.